Grammar presentation. Modal verbs. Modal verbs are special verbs that express necessity, obligation, prohibition, ability, permission, possibility, and opinion. These verbs give extra information about the role of the infinitives in the sentence. The most important modal verbs are must, have to, can, could, may, might, should, and the negative forms of these modals. Other modal verbs, for example will and would, appear in later units of this course. In most cases, after the modal verb, we do not put to on the infinitive. Example: all passengers must stand behind the yellow line. It is not necessary to put a final s on modal verbs in the third person singular. For example, he can travel for free because he's older than 65. Must and must not. We use must to express obligation or necessity. It is formal and non-negotiable. When a person uses must, he or she usually agrees with the obligation. Example: you must wear a seatbelt at all times. We use must not or the contraction mustn't to express prohibition. It is also formal and non-negotiable. Example: you must not cross the street when the light is red. You mustn't cross the street when the light is red. Have to and do not have to. The modal verb have to also expresses obligation or necessity. Have to is very similar to must, but it is more informal. We can also use need to. When a person uses have to, he or she wants to indicate that the obligation is imposed. It is possible that the person does not agree with the obligation. Example: we have to wear an ugly uniform to work. Do not have to is not similar to must not. We also say don't have to or don't need to. We use do not have to and do not need to explain that the action is possible but it's not necessary. Example: we don't have to wear a hat. I wear a hat, but only because I like it. Can and cannot. These modal verbs express ability or permission, depending on the context. We use can and cannot, or the contraction can't, to talk about our abilities. Examples: I can't speak Italian. She can't eat pineapple because she's allergic to it. Can and can't also express permission. We use can in questions in order to ask for permission to do something. Example: can my dog come with me on the bus? Can't expresses that a person does not have permission to do something. It is similar to mustn't, but the prohibition is not as strong. Example: I'm sorry, but you can't smoke here. Could and could not. These modal verbs are very similar to can and can't. Could and couldn't express ability in the past. Examples: when my brother was 6 years old, He could eat 3 hamburgers. I couldn't ride a bike when I was 3 years old. We also use could to ask for permission. The difference between can and could is that we consider could to be very polite. Could is a common modal verb in restaurants. Example: could I have a queso salad and a bottle of water, please? Could also expresses possibility, when you are not sure and you do not want to answer with a definite yes or no. Examples: the meteorologist says it could rain tomorrow. I finish work at 8 o'clock tomorrow, so I could be late for dinner. May, might, and may not, might not. These modal verbs express possibility. Similar to could, when you are not sure of the answer, use may or might. When talking about possibility, may and might are synonyms. There is no difference in meaning between them. Examples: John may call later today. John might call later today. May not and might not have the implication that there is a possibility that something will not happen. May not and might not are also synonyms. Example: I might not see you before you go to Washington. May can express permission. It is very formal, very polite way to ask for permission. We use may to ask for permission in most situations where we do not know the person. Examples: excuse me, sir. May I use your mobile phone? Mine has no battery. May I see your ticket, please? Should and should not. We use should and should not or shouldn't to give advice or opinions. Should is not an obligation. We use should to say our opinion about what to do. Examples: you should check your brake fluid and oil level every week. He shouldn't drink so much Coke and Fanta. It isn't healthy. A synonym for should is ought to, and a synonym for shouldn't is oughtn't. Example: you ought to take a holiday. You should take a holiday. An additional use of should is when you expect that something will occur when there is a strong probability. Example: if you wait for 10 seconds and then push the button, the computer should turn on.